Good evening. Just in case you're joining me for the very first time, my name is Glaze Gibbs, and this is my ministry, the Glaze Gibbs story, Beyond Lucky. I was once the problem. Now what I'm seeking to do, be part of the solution. How do I tell my story as a form of ministry to get the younger generation to understand that crime doesn't pay, that the street life is not worth it, like the trials and tribulation that I went through and that I put my family through based upon my behavior, because my infatuation and my love of the street, how I went astray, how I became one of the worst criminals in New York City during my period of time. Today, what I'm going to start off, I'm going to tell you a story of like my late aunt. My late aunt, today's her birthday. Today would be what would have been her 76th birthday. This is her right here. My late Aunt Helen, aka Aunt Lee. She was a very powerful individual. She taught me a lot. Right now is, like I say, she taught me how to be tough. I can remember the first time, me living in the Bedford-Stuyvesant section, and we used to visit the East New York section where she used to live at. That was before we moved to the Cypress, area. And I can remember an incident happened when I was in the neighborhood. I got into it with a bully. This guy was a little older than me, and I can remember my aunt telling me, like right then and there, listen, you better whip his ass. If you don't whip his ass, I'm going to whip your ass. And you know me, I don't know whether I was like 10 years old or whatever at the time. I can remember that. Man, my aunt was rough. I didn't want her to whip my behind. So all I knew was I did everything and I fought with everything I had. And to me, like right now, as I sit back and think about it or whatever, I must be did a good job, because once again, she didn't whip my behind after the fight. So to me, I think, and it took that as a moral victory. When you sit back and you think about it, like I told you, my Aunt Helen, like I say, it was 5 of them. It was 5 sisters. And I'm going to read like some things from my book, Beyond Lucky, about my Aunt Helen. And it goes something like this. There was 5 sisters, including my late mother, no brother. They was raised in South Carolina. Each and every day, before and after school, they completed their chore duties on the family farm. My mother and 3 out of her 4 sisters migrated to New York City in hopes of finding a better opportunity. Out of my mother's 4 sisters, I always saw my Aunt Helen as the strongest, never witnessing any sign of weakness in her. My Aunt Helen taught me to be the definition of tough. Like she taught me what was tough. How to stand up for yourself. How to be, like I said right now, grow to be a man. Don't be a pushover. Don't let nobody bully you. Don't let nobody disrespect you. And to me, even till this day, I'm still following that. I still took that to heart. So on this day, the 8th day of the 8th month in the year 2020, I celebrate what would have been her 76th birthday. Happy birthday, Aunt Helen, aka Aunt Lee. You are loved and missed dearly. And see, what we all don't understand is, listen, man, the day that we're born is the day that we start to die. Each and every one of us. You can choose your friends, but you cannot choose your family. And I was blessed to have my Aunt Helen as, a loving, caring person that was in my life. None of us, I'm talking about me, my brother, my sisters, my first cousin, nobody played with my Aunt Helen. Helen was not to be messed with. She was fair, but she was stern, and she mean business. And on this day, as I celebrate her 76th birthday, I want, people to know, what made me who I am. If you talk about fear, yeah, I was scared to death of my Aunt Helen. She didn't play. And you know what you talk about? She didn't ask for respect. She demanded respect. So on this day, as I celebrate her 76th birthday, I want her to know that I love her, I miss her, and like I tell you right now, it's like she would never be forgotten. So everybody, listen, man, treat your loved one with love, respect, and human compassion. They're here today. go on tomorrow. Cherish the moment, man, because you know what? Tomorrow's not promised to nobody. Each and every day, even with this coronavirus, what you have to sit back and keep in mind, guess what, man? Take your time, enjoy, respect life, appreciate life. Appreciate, go out there, appreciate the little things, man. Call your family member, call your kids, let them know how much you love and care about them. Call your parents, they still alive. Let them know how much you love and you appreciate all that they do. Call your brother and your sister, call your cousin, call your aunts, call your uncle, call your dad. Here it is right now. It's never too late to change. It's never too late to mend broken bridges, to mend broken relationship. You know what? Later for that. Temper is what gets us into trouble. Pride is what keeps us there. It's all about forgiving. It's all about, remorseful. It's all about being sincere in your approach. To me, I am Brian Glaze Gibbs, and this is my ministry. If I can change, anybody can change. Follow me. I have a YouTube channel, Brian Glaze Gibbs. Follow me on Instagram, Brian Glaze Gibbs. For a signed, autographed copy of my book, Beyond Lucky, the Brian Glaze Gibbs story, a true story of crack, money, murder, and redemption. Email me at Brian, BrianGibbs 1201 at yahoo.com. If I can change, anybody can change. Because change come from where, everybody? Change come from within. And it's only because of the grace of God and his mercy that my life was spared, that I was given more than a second, a third, or fourth chance. So if you keep doing the same thing, guess what's going to happen? You're going to keep getting the same result. They made me say uncle. Listen, look me up, follow me. One love. Have a good evening.